I think that content marketing world is explosive.
It's even better than I could have hoped.
It's been insightful, impactful, remarkable.
It's a big conference, but it feels intimate at the same time.
It's incredible. The quality and the scale are huge.
This is inspirational as well as very tactical.
There's so many speakers and so many sessions, it's hard to pick which one to go to next.
Every single thing on the agenda was something that I said, that's something I want to know more about.
When you come here, you get to learn from day-to-day practitioners that are in the weeds, that are doing the hard work.
I've enjoyed all of the speakers. They've all been very enthusiastic, passionate about what they're talking about.
It's awesome to have a variety of industries represented, everything from healthcare to higher education to the financial industry.
Every topic you hear, every speaker you hear from, every person you meet has value.
The vibe and the atmosphere here, it's really conducive to growing and learning and sharing.
Everyone is so warm and friendly, in addition to brilliant.
It's a really vibrant community of people that take what they do very seriously, but have a lot of fun doing it.
Content marketing world has a very distinct and unique culture, which for me is the biggest draw.
It's a lot of fun. You build lifelong friendships. Every year, it's like coming home and coming back to family.
The human-to-human interaction and the community feel that exists at Content Marketing World is second to none.
There really is something for everyone.
Next year, let's bring the whole team, because I feel like everyone from my VP to the specialists and the coordinators could get something out of this.
I was jotting down ideas and notes of things that I can take back and immediately start implementing.
Content Marketing World is the can't miss marketing event of the year.
I mean, it's like a kid in a candy store, so.
It is an insane group of people. You need to get here.
Join us for Content Marketing World 2024 in San Diego.
Hello, everyone. It's Amanda and JK with the Content Marketing Institute. Thank you so much for joining us for our latest episode of Live with CMI this afternoon. JK, how are we feeling today?
I am feeling great, other than these seasonal allergies that we discussed earlier. So I apologize if there's some light sneezing during this. I'll hit my mute button as soon as I can. But I am so excited. It's going to be a great day. I'm really, really, really excited for this topic. It's like, I had some notes written down when we were talking earlier. I mean, what more could we ask for from a show? Brand awareness, personal branding, all mixed in with social media marketing. I mean, this is going to be an awesome show.
Yes. Great show lined up for you. And I don't know about you, JK, but I hear from marketers and creators all the time, and we struggle with it. Here at CMI, we have no idea, it seems, anymore what to do with our social media. So the algorithms are constantly changing. The platforms are evolving. Once you think you have it figured out, then something changes. And so it just seems harder than ever to get traction. But we do have some things we can do, right, JK?
For sure. I mean, I think, today's guest is really going to enlighten us with what's going on. And, they'll help, our guest is going to help us with some tips on how to create a social strategy that creates positive brand awareness, and will also help you get clicks. But more importantly, we'll also be discussing on how personal branding can be a key to this success.
Yes, that's more popular than ever these days. So before we get to all that, we want you to know, if you didn't know, this live stream is brought to you by the Content Marketing Institute. We are the leading training and educational organization for all things content and marketing. And you can head on over to contentmarketinginstitute.com and see all kinds of great resources for you over there. And if you didn't know, here at CMI, we put on this awesome conference every year called Content Marketing World. And it's a big week here because actually our early bird rates end at the end of the week on August 2nd. So if you are thinking of coming, this is the perfect week to register. Our agenda is live. You can see all the awesome speakers that we have lined up in sessions, including our awesome keynote speaker, Issa Rae. We're very excited about that. And if you want to save even more on top of your early bird rates, JK and I have a little code for you, Live 100, to save an extra 100 on your ticket. So head on over to contentmarketingworld.com, check it out. And if you are going to be there, JK and I would love to meet you. So drop us a line and let us know, and we can hook up at some point and chat. We'd love that as well. So back to today's live stream. As you join us today, as always, please give us a virtual wave, say hello, let us know where you're joining us from. We really want to hear from you. As always, I say it makes for a more engaging live stream. So if you have questions or comments, drop them in the comment section below, and we will try to get to them as best they can. So let's start it off with the question of the day, JK.
Yeah, let's get the ball rolling here. So what are the most pressing challenges when it comes to social media marketing? You know, just like Amanda said, we suffer with this all the time with algorithms and everything like that. So we would love to know what your most pressing challenges are. Please, you know, share them in the chat. We can discuss it a little bit more. And I'm sure our guest is really going to be able to help us with some of these problems that we're having.
Yes, I know. Like I said, everybody has this. I see people joining us, Kim, Amy, and Kim. Thanks for joining us today from all over. So yeah, give us a virtual wave. Let us know. I know here at CMI, some of our issues, we keep going back and forth. What video is it? Is it vertical video, horizontal video? What works on LinkedIn? What works on the other platforms? So it just always seems to be changing. I see we have Wendy from Michigan. We have Stephanie on here. Hello. Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. So what the heck should we do with social marketing these days? It's obviously invaluable for marketers, right? But with everything that's changing, it's harder than ever, especially to get some organic traffic. So today, JK, we have a great guest, right?
We do. Today, we're joined by Keenya Kelly, social media and video strategist with her consultancy, If You Create It, to offer us some help today. So Keenya, welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So let's be real, right? So we're getting our fair share, what we think our fair share is of social media traffic. So when someone comes to you and says, okay, Keenya, our social strategy just isn't working anymore, what are some of your first suggestions to them?
Yeah. So one of the first things that I like to do with people is, you know, everybody has whatever they have been doing. And our first thing is like, what have you been doing? Right? What have you been doing like the last 6 months, the last 90 days, and the last 30 days? Because platforms, not only do platforms change all the time and algorithms, but people change. So our consumption, what we are interested in, it changes and evolves all the time. So as first, we got to figure out what exactly are you doing? Now, as it pertains to what's happening on all social platforms right now is that video is king. That's just it. That's why us being live here right now, it's king because people love to consume video. But one of the bigger challenges that most people have right now is still trying to learn what is short form video. What does that mean to us and our brands? And so one thing that every single person should be doing in their businesses is having a short form video strategy. And now shorts by definition is a video that is 1 minute or less. And the reason isn't just because, oh, TikTok is a thing or Instagram Reels is a thing. It's because the behavior of people, like, you know, there's so many people that would say that every 3 seconds they see a squirrel, it's like squirrel, 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 you know, because our attention span has gotten shorter and shorter and shorter. And if a brand is wanting to be able to utilize organic marketing and paid marketing, then one of the things that has to be implemented in your content marketing strategy has to be short form video.
Yeah. I think we've been talking about this now for how many years, right? About video.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're doing video, so we do the short form video, catching their attention, and then, because I know, like personally, it's like you have to, the shorter video gets my attention. Are you like funneling them into like a longer video? Or other content, or what are some of your suggestions?
For sure. So I think that it's multiple things. So you've got someone like many people know on YouTube, you've got Mr. Beast, and we all know him mostly for his long form content. And one of his strategies is they're taking hot moments in his long form content, but they're making it into short form content. And right when you get to this point, they're leading you back to the main video. So I've watched so many videos on Instagram and TikTok where you are watching this clip, and right when it gets to the hottest whatever poem in the video, they're inviting you to go and watch it on their YouTube channel. And you're like, I'm going because now I'm hooked in. I want to see that. And so that's one strategy. But one of the things that we do on a regular basis is we use short form video to connect to our audience, because we understand that like they've got short attention spans. So we create short form videos, just giving people one tip, one way to do a thing that one, it gives them a win. It helps them learn something. They can implement it. And typically what we're seeing is that if people are getting wins from just these short pieces of content, they're taking lots of different actions. One, they may be asking questions. So now you've got them engaging. If you are offering them something to like a complimentary offer that they can opt into, oftentimes they're doing that. Like we have one of our short videos we did on Instagram, and it got us like 350 leads from one video, 1 7-second video. And so again, all videos don't have to be that short, but these are just some of the little things that we give people a win. We offer them free things, paid products, but it's really about like, who is our audience? Like, what is their behavior? Like we have to really survey them and find like, what is their behavior on video, on social media right now? And then we begin to create content that can connect with them. So like one thing I was never doing was image-based carousels. So like, and that's not just video, but an image-based carousel is basically where it's 7 to 10 different images, and I've got text on top of the image that's telling a story. And so we did that last week, and kaboom, we're like, wow, people are loving watching this in addition to shorts, in addition to long. So it's just giving ourselves freedom with understanding that our audience likes different things, but short content that they can consume really quickly is extremely important.
So, well, one, Mr. Beast is brilliant. So, I mean,
Right.
I hear him secondarily because
sure.
my kids are always watching him, and so I know exactly like what he's doing. He's brilliant. But kind of going along with this, like this next question is, video seems very scary, and I think people are starting to get over it now. But you know, part of that is influencer marketing. You're talking about, a lot of companies. You have your employees that can help be your brand ambassadors and help create videos or other content. So, but building that personal brand, we're going to personal branding here. It can be hard. It can be overwhelming. It can be scary, like especially if you're talking about video. So, what are some of the first steps, you can take either as a company to encourage employees or, because the video part of it, putting your face out there just really helps you to be more authentic, right?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things I always like to tell companies about video and their employees is that, I mean, it's going to sound kind of counter, counter, but most employees, when they decide to come work for a company, they didn't sign up to be on video. So first, it's really important for the company to understand that people are like, I am here, I am committed to here. I don't want to be on video. So we have to first just acknowledge that there's going to be a large group of people within the company that just don't want to show up on video. But then two, if there are people that they do want to show up on video, then what we have to also do is we have to now train people how to show up on video, and like, not like, here, shoot this, but we have to train them, because none of us went to school to learn how to shoot long form video, horizontal video, how to have a hook in our video. So we've got to train our employees how to show up on video now. And that may come from an outside consultant that's coming in and teaching and things of that nature. That may be something to do. But also, if the employees are like, hey, we don't want to do this, then one of the expensive things is going to be actually hiring someone in the company, and that's all their job. But one of the most inexpensive ways to do it is you're actually contracting UGC content creators, user generated content creators, where these people, like, they are the face of your brand. It may be one person, 2 or 3 people, and they are giving you 10 videos, 20 videos, whatever videos. You're giving them the topic, how you're coaching them before it all gets started. And now these are the people who shoot content for you on a regular basis, and they give it to you, and they are the face of your brand without actually having to be in the office and all the things. Like that happens. Like just recently, a company hired me to create a series of videos in my own space, and I don't have to post it because they want it for their own brand, because they don't have anybody to film, and it works well for both people.
So does that go for so if it's not just videos, so you want your employees to be part of your social strategy and build their personal brand, are you giving them things to post? Like, what is sort of your suggestions for at least getting your employees to
right.
post, and creating their own brand and ultimately help the company?
Yeah. So if the employees have said yes, that we will build a personal brand, now you've got to take them on. You literally have got to take them on because most people, like, if they have a job, they know how to do this. But personal branding and social media is a whole different ball of wax. So now you've got to give your employee the same kind of, like, we all start a job. You have the start of how the company works and how there's the things. You've got to take those employees on this now content creation journey, but also personal branding, because they're their name, but they don't know how to be them on social media on behalf of the company. Like, they know how to be them. They can showcase, oh, my fireworks, this is my cat, this is my husband, my wife. They know how to do that, but they are trying to be them for the company, and the company has to outline what that looks like and how they really want their teams to show up. Once that's outlined, now you've got to train them how to actually film content. You've got to help them with backgrounds, how to dress, what to say, what not to say. If let's just say you're going to use some of these cool creative trends. Well, you have to outline, this is what the company would do, and this is what we would not do. Right? That way, because when people get excited and they know what they can do, people can run with it. But oftentimes what I feel like is that we get we get excited and we just start doing all this stuff. And then you may bring it to the company. The company's like, no, we can't do that. But if we start people off with the training and here's what we do, here's what we don't do, then now it's so much easier for people in your company to create a personal brand, creating content and doing all the things, because everybody knows what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, okay, so this leads into a great question, Keenya. So once you kind of figure out if you're going to bring someone in, or you're going to have somebody from your staff or your brand represent you, how do you figure out what's the best platform to use? Or what sort of content works best for the brand? Like video versus written. I mean, is there a formula that you would suggest?
I wouldn't say a formula per se, but what I would say is that one of the first things we like to do is, if we're working with a company, we'll go, let's take a look at what is your best top performing content on X platform. So you may say, well, we're not really on Instagram, not really on Facebook or whatever. Well, first thing, we're like, let's see, where are you? If you are having success somewhere, then we want to see what does success look like on that platform for you. Now, if you're just getting started overall, then one of the things we have to assess is, who are you trying to target with the content you're trying to put out? Do you want to be more creative and friendly and youth focused? Now, granted, it's not all youth on TikTok, but it's heavily, right? If that's where you want to lean, then you go, okay, here's what we want to do. Here's who we want to reach on TikTok. Now you're starting to create a content strategy there. So the first thing you've got to figure out, who are you trying to target first before you try to do all the different platforms? And most companies know who their audience is. And then you go, okay, if this is who I'm trying to target, where are they spending most of their time? So now you've got to look at the data of where your target audience is spending most of their time. If it's Facebook, then great. So now you can create short form video content, image-based content, written content, and all the different things that work over on Facebook. So you just want to choose one, because granted, in my opinion, we reach people that are our audience is women that are over 30, and we reach her everywhere. She's literally on all the platforms, but we had to learn how does she consume content on Facebook? How does she consume it on YouTube? What is she doing on these different places so that when we're there, we're giving her what she is looking for so that when she sees us, she's like, oh, these are my people.
Wow, that's really important. Right? I don't know why that was just like a life to me. Like, yeah, because I use the platforms in a different way, so a completely different way from Instagram to Facebook to LinkedIn. So I don't know why that was just a light bulb moment for me, but Keenya Kelly here. She's a social media and video strategist joining us today. Someone from Speakers Magazine says Keenya is so good. So if you have a question or a comment for Keenya as we go along here, please drop it in the comment section. So I think we all know this. One of the hardest things when we are posting on social is to be consistent and then to come up with some interesting, engaging content ideas and, of course, stand out from the crowd. So how do we maintain this? What are some of your tips?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the first things about consistency is what you can do, right? So oftentimes we'll find clients, they'll say, well, I want to post every day. And we're like, well, you're not posting anything right now. Why don't we get you to posting once a week first, right? And so we start with the consistency of once a week. That way, now you've got content that's going out. Now we have something to evaluate. Now you're getting better at the content that you're actually creating. Then we try to do twice a week and then so on and so on and so on. If you can, as a brand, post every day, that's amazing. If you can't, and you can only do twice a week, then you want to have a consistency of this is what we do. We post on Mondays and we post on Thursdays. That's great, right? Now, the second thing, when you're talking about coming up with creative ways to create content, well, one of the things that a lot of people kind of, I think, sleep on, in my opinion, is the value of what is happening over on TikTok, right? Most people learned about TikTok in 2020 and they still think that it's this dancing, goofy, the viral videos that they've seen that someone has sent to them. But it really is quite the content marketing creative platform that I have just never experienced a day in my life. I mean, I'm 43 years old and I've never experienced what I experience on a daily basis over on the TikTok platform. And a company can come over to TikTok and just do a search, right? Let's just say that you make knee braces, okay? Knee braces for athletes. Well, you can go on TikTok and you can type in knee brace. Now, you're going to receive a lot of different content. Some people just talking about randomness, but eventually you're going to get to actual people who make knee braces. You're going to get to doctors and things like that are making content around the best type of knee brace for this type of industry or what's it called? Injury, right? And so if you start just searching and you'll begin to find really good pieces of content to market your business. Like we had a client who is an immigration attorney and she was like, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And I said, well, let's just do a search for immigration attorney. And when we did that, we saw some random content, but we saw some really good content from immigration attorneys. And she started going, I can do that. And then we just started seeing more content that was very good for her to teach her audience in a way that was on brand for her, felt good for her. And she started doing that. I think one of her videos got probably a couple thousand views on it. And her law office got 121 calls and 10 paid clients because she learned how to create content that was good for her, on brand for her, that her audience was interested in. And she learned the creativity behind that by utilizing TikTok and the search.
Wow. Those are two really good examples.
Yeah, seriously.
Did she have a learning curve as far as were you talking about the video aspect of it or?
Yeah. So of course, she's like most people. She didn't know how to use the buttons. I mean, when I first got started, I was like, what is this button? Like, what is going on? I'm 43 years old. What's happening? So what we did first with her was we just taught her how to do the basics. Here's how to create. Here's how to put text on screen. And we were like, that's it. Don't try to do all the fancy things. Once we got her comfortable with putting text on screen, now we showed her how to make text disappear, right? And then we said, this is how now to add music. So we just allow them to go through stages. And some of them never make it to all the other stuff because they don't really need it. It's like there's a lady on TikTok or on social that everybody knows if you're in your 40s. And her name is Dr. Mary Claire Haver. She's a gynecologist, teaches about perimenopause, menopause. And if you look at some of her content, she still doesn't really use the 3-second timer. right? But she doesn't need to. She just learned how to create videos. She would stop and she would start and she would teach, stop and start. Now she knows how to use more of those features and she has crushed it. New York Times bestseller for like 3 months, but it all started with her learning how to create basic videos on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. And the good information, right? Like she has the content, right?
Yeah.
And it's short and digestible as well.
Yeah. So, well, those are some awesome stories. So conversely, what do you suggest you do when you feel that it's not working? Like you're putting in the work, but you're really not getting anything coming back from it.
For sure. So one thing, you have to evaluate what exactly are you doing, right? So I'll have some people that say, I'm doing it, but it's not working. I go, okay, well, wait, let's look at what are you doing? Like first things first is when you're creating, let's just say it's a video, like you've got the average attention span of a person is 8 seconds, but most people don't sit there on your content for 8 seconds before they scroll away. No, people usually watch, scroll. We scroll so fast, 1 to 2 seconds, that your head will spin. So it's important that if you're like, okay, it's not working. Okay, first of all, is the content you're creating what your audience is searching for, right? So like you can use a site like answerthepublic.com and you can type in 1 or 2 words and it's going to tell you in your niche what people are searching for. Or if you're on a platform like TikTok and you search 1 or 2 words, and you do a search, when the more you keep scrolling, it's going to show you a set of search terms that people are searching for in that particular niche. And so first, are you creating content that your audience is searching for? If you are, then great. Then you've got, okay, once you're creating this content, what does it look like? What is the experience people are having? Like, for example, 1, how is your demeanor in the video? Are you like, the difference is clear eyes? Are you like that guy? Or are you allowing yourself to just have a little bit more energy and be engaged? What's happening within the first 1 to 2 seconds of your video? Or if it's written content, if someone lands on you, what is the first thing you have said in your written content? What's the image content? What we call that a hook. What is the reason that someone's going to stop and consume what it is you're putting out? If the thought isn't going into what we call the hook, then that's a really big indicator of why it's not working, because you've got 1 to 2 seconds before someone says scroll, 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 right? And then beyond that, now you've got to go, okay, what I'm sharing in this video, can anybody really understand what is happening? So I have this new personal trainer, nutritionist, and she I had a meeting with her and she was talking for an hour and I yawned probably 30 times. And she said, "You're tired." I said, "No, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. And my brain it's too much for me to understand." So I'm like, my brain is just, it's in overdrive. And I was like, "So the next time we meet, can you just take it bite size and give me 1 tip and help me to be able to grasp that?" So that same experience I was having in a live stream with her is the same experience people are having in our pre-recorded content. When they land on us, can they understand what you're saying? Are you talking in your language or are you talking in their language, right? So like as marketers, we can say SEO and all these different things, but a person that's new to content marketing is like, what? Do what? You're doing what? Like I said, green screen the other day to someone, and they thought I had a green screen in my background, but it's actually the green screen on the app. So when you're creating that content, you've got to make sure that you are talking to a person that has no idea what you're talking about, and they can take what you're telling them to do, and they can actually apply it without doing a search of like, what does this word mean? Or what does this mean? Because, we're very smart people. And so we often just talk the way that we think, but we have to talk the way that the person can receive on the other end.
Yeah, I think it's so, and I've been saying this for years. It's like, how are you personally using those platforms? You're scrolling 1 or 2 seconds. So it's like, think about how you are using them.
Correct.
And then, you can start creating the content. Like what interests you? What kind of different thing? Like I look at videos and what catches my eye, and so I can, when I'm editing videos, try to make them interesting. So all great stuff, Keenya. Thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people find you, connect with you, to learn more?
For sure. So you guys, I'm here on LinkedIn under Keenya Kelly, but you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, pretty much everywhere underneath Keenya Kelly. I do give you guys a warning on TikTok because I have such a large following. There's a lot of spam accounts. So the moment you follow me on TikTok, a bunch of spam accounts are going to follow you back. Just block them. Happens all the time.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again so much, Keenya.
Yeah.
So much great stuff. I hope you all took away some great tips. And I think you've said, I heard you say this, like, don't overthink it, right? To some extent, like just don't overthink it. Just kind of get out there. So awesome. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Keenya.
Keenya.
Have a good rest of your day. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, Keenya. Thank you. Wow.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
Great. I mean, social media is so, it's like, oh, this worked today. Well, tomorrow it doesn't work. So it's like,
it's been how many years and our heads are still spinning over this
I know.
every day.
And then you think about like the stuff you were watching, like even just 2 years ago versus like, you know what I mean? It's just funny how everything has changed so much. So
for sure.
Anyway, moving on, we still have some great stuff here. As we said, as we were talking about, so many messages we're bombarded with each day. Takes us, like Keenya was talking about, you got a hook. You got just the stuff we're going to watch is the stuff that hooks us. So in this environment, how do we stand out? Marketers need to be hyper relevant to their customers. And to do this, they need to have some data and a deep understanding of their audience, right, JK?
They do. So I'm very excited to talk about this next topic. In her new book, Data-Driven Personalization, How to Use Consumer Insights to Generate Customer Loyalty, friend and family member of CMI, CM World, Zonti, who we love so much, offers a framework for how to reach new customers and better engage with your best customers. I mean, this was a great conversation we had. We recently did sit down with her to chat about why marketers need a seat at the table when it comes to shaping the strategy, especially when the data is collected. So, sit back, take a listen to this awesome interview we had with Zonti.
More from brands than ever before, especially because we are bombarded with so many messages that we have to go through each day. So one way to stand out, to have an advantage, is through personalization. Marketers know this. They know that data is the key to that, but a lot of them are struggling. So Zonti, what are the biggest obstacles facing marketers when it comes to personalization?
Yeah, Amanda, you are exactly right that marketers understand this. I actually did research that found that 98% of marketers said that personalization and data-driven personalization would make a difference and give them a competitive advantage, right? People recognize that this is an opportunity that we have and a way for us to deliver on customer expectations. I think the biggest obstacle that most marketers face at this time is really the lack of data that empowers the kind of personalization that really matters to their audiences, right? We know that we need to offer more personalized recommendations on content, on product, on use cases, on learning, and yet we can only do it at a relatively high level of segmentation, if at all, because most of us actually don't have a fully integrated data system, or we don't have enough data. And I think that's really because a lot of organizations have looked at data in a really ad hoc way, right? There's the customer relationship data that might sit in sales. There might be a little bit of website data that sits with your technical team. There might be customer service data that sits with your customer support team. And these things all exist in silos. They have not been treated as a holistic view of the customer, and they've never been brought together in a meaningful way that also is aligned with the goals and needs of the marketing team. And so I think the more we can address the need to collect enough data and bring that data together, I think the more marketers can actually act upon this idea of data-driven personalization.
And you also talk about strategy. So marketers, like they may have all this data, may not know that we're collecting it or know that they could be using it. And you talk a lot about having marketers having a seat at the table when it comes to that. So how, what are some of your recommendations?
Yeah, I think that the truth is Marketers, in a lot of ways, are the front lines of our organizations when it comes to interfacing with our customers and putting our best foot forward with our customers, right? So we are the ones who are presenting the case of why is our brand highly relevant and the right fit for the customer in the relationship, whether it's B2B or B2C, right? And with that in mind, we're the ones who need to be able to know our customers and our prospects the best. And because of that, we need to have a seat at the data table. In other words, we need to be driving the strategy around which our organization is collecting data, designing the infrastructure of our data, and then using our data in order to deliver upon that expectation of the customers. Customers expect that brands are going to give them highly relevant information. And that's because we all have less attention than ever before, right? But to deliver on that, again, marketers have to have a seat at the table because we're asking the key questions that will help to determine how data should be collected. And if we don't have a strong seat at how we invest, where we put the infrastructure, how the data will be used, how we tell that story about data usage to our customers so that we have transparency and we have an opportunity to build trust, then we miss out on the ability to control our own destinies. That's why marketers need to have a seat at the table.
So, Zonti, I know all the questions that are going to be, or one of the biggest questions that's going to be on marketers' minds is, can this be pulled off without a big budget or resources?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. One of the things that I'm really excited about and that I just start to touch upon in the book, because in some ways I was writing it during kind of the earlier days of the giant boom of generative AI, is technology is getting cheaper and cheaper that can help us to do this work at scale. One of the things I'm excited about generative AI is that it can actually layer on top of your data so that you can use natural language to query the data and make heads or tails of it. The tools are making it much faster and much cheaper to do that kind of analysis. The other thing that I encourage people to think about is, again, personalization and the collecting of data does not have to be complicated. It could be as simple as asking a couple of onboarding questions so that, when people come to your website, you are understanding who they are, what they are shopping for, and what those expectations are. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It really is about asking your customers the questions that help you to give them the best experience based on those needs in the particular areas that you can support them. And I share a whole bunch of examples where folks are doing things like that. The onboarding opportunity, I think, is one that a lot of marketers are actually missing out on, but it makes such a difference because just by writing a couple of different rules around what kind of email content we're delivering and how we personalize certain blocks on our website or how we deliver SMS, we can really be more tailored and more valuable and more useful to our customers.
Where can people find the book? Where can they get it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's carried everywhere that books are sold. So you can hop on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, indiebooks.org. You can also go to koganpage.com/data-driven personalization, which is the publisher. And if you go there, you will get free shipping in the US and the UK. And I'll even share my 20% off code, which is ZHData20. And you can save 20% off when you order from that website.
Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so proud of her.
I
So
know.
cool.
And it's a really easy read. And we have so much more for her. We talked to her for quite a while, including what types of data most marketers are not collecting that they should be and how to use it effectively. So you can see the rest of that interview on our YouTube page. We'll drop the link in the comments, but you can also just search Content Marketing Institute and check out our page. And you know what, JK? Zonti is going to be at
Content Marketing World.
If you missed us chatting about it a little earlier, before we go, we want to tell you again that this is the last week to grab Early bird rates for Content Marketing World, they run out on Friday. So if you're thinking about joining us, this would be the week to register. If you have questions about the event, let us know. We're happy to answer them for you. What's your favorite thing about Content Marketing World, JK?
Well, it's like, for me, it's like old home week. You know, it's like homecoming. You know, you get to see your family, your friends. Obviously, you know, the fashion is just unbelievable, as you can see here with my friend Ann Hanley. We try to outdo each other every year. But it is such a wonderful, you know, the video that we ran at the beginning, we had some people speaking about their, you know, experiences at Content Marketing World. And two things that really stuck out to me was someone mentioned how Content Marketing World is just a unique culture. And it really is. You know, people, once you've been there, you always want to come back. Because the other thing that someone spoke of was the human to human interaction. You know, it's not, you're just not herded into a room and herded out of a room. You have time to, you know, it's such a unique experience. You have time to interact with other attendees and learn their problems. And you know, more often than not, you can sit and chat with one of the speakers, and it's just such a unique family. I you know, like I said, it's just family to me. It's just a wonderful experience. Plus, we're adding it in one of the most wonderful cities in the whole world, San Diego, California. Come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
always 80 degrees and sunny and beautiful.
Right on the water. It's very lovely. And yeah, I was going to say, like, when we ask people, like, how do they hear about Content Marketing World? The number one thing by far is they hear from a colleague or a friend. So, I mean, I think that kind of tells it all. Like, would you recommend something that was really terrible to somebody? So I love the friends that I've met over. Here's my short hair.
Yeah, look at that.
Short hair girls here from last year. But yeah, we've met, you know, JK's been 14, I've been 12 years, I think. And it's just our friend, like it's like family, friends that we see every year. And yeah, like Paula said, Paula was on that video. It's an amazing,
oh yeah, there she is.
Amazing family feel. So yes, we hope that you will join us at Content Marketing World. Head over there, contentmarketingworld.com. And learn about it. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them as well. So that's it for today, JK. We will be back next month. I believe we're talking audio and visual storytelling. That's the plan. So look for that when we schedule that next live stream. If you have any questions about that, let us know, or what you want us to cover as well. So until then, I will see you all next time. See you, JK.
Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining.